All that glitters in NDTV Profit. I'm Vikramosa. Hello and a very warm welcome. It's that time of the year when the festive cheer is very obvious. The Diwali sparkle is very, very obvious, and where best to capture it than a jewellery store? And which one are we at? It's in a bustling area of Mumbai. It's Dadar. And the frenzy, the shopping frenzy is well and truly on, even in jewellery shops, despite the high prices. How exactly is demand panning out? GST reforms on one side, you have gold and silver prices hitting the roof on the other side. Let's ask someone who would really know. The Chairman and Managing Director of PNG Jewellers with us, Saurabh Gadgil. Such a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you. I'm wishing you a very, very happy Diwali.
To you too, Saurabh. And I want to know how happy this Diwali is. For a jeweler like you.
Can't get happier.
Is it?
I think it's been a very positive Diwali. Start has been good, and I think a couple of months ago there were a lot of a little fear in the market. How would Diwali react to the high prices? Will consumers be out there shopping? Will it be online for what we're expecting? But I think it's been a blockbuster. There's huge demand. Gold, silver, diamonds, it's all there. And like you said, Diwali is the busiest time of the year. And for us jewelers, this is like the time of the year when we pray for it to go well. And I think that's what we are really expecting and hoping this is going to be the same one.
So explain this phenomenon to us, Saurabh, because, you know, you see gold prices which have remained at elevated levels. Silver has hit the roof, and how? You're talking about the last month itself going above 50% kind of increase. In that kind of scenario, if you're saying gold is moving, silver is moving, and diamonds are moving, despite the lab-grown diamonds that we've seen in the markets, there is something that is a phenomenon that's happening. So explain it. Why do you think that's happening?
I'll break it down for you. I think it's not just gold, silver, diamond. It's also the equity markets and real estate. Everything is moving.
Well, I can tell you about the equity market, Saurabh. It's not as booming as what you're making out the jewellery market to be.
No, there can be different variations. But if you look at gold and silver, they both are playing unique roles. Gold today is looked at as almost like a currency. And gold rally started from central banks, mutual funds buying gold, which has now percolated down to the retail investors. So now the rally we're seeing is people looking at buying gold because it's safety and it's a good returns in the near and the short future. Silver, on the other hand, is more of a geopolitical tool, I think, which is being bought by countries to keep their dominance in this race for AI, microchips, EV. So silver has a huge industrial use. So silver has seen more buying right now from governments, central banks, which is at a level which was unprecedented in the last maybe 2 decades. So I think both gold and silver are playing different parts, different roles in this entire space. And as retail consumers, people are seeing that there's a huge positivity left in both these cycles of gold and silver rise, and they want to be a part of that. So if we break it down, there is gold rally, which is driven from the point of view of investment. There's silver rally, which is from the point of view of world dominance in EV, in microchips. But both have now gone to a level of retail consumer, which is now entering the markets in a big way.
So when you talk about jewelry, you're talking about investment versus adornment. Tell me how that has changed. Consumer sentiment and approach seems to be changing. Obviously, the reasons you're listing out, the GST reforms putting more money in the wallets of consumers, has to be some kind of assistance. But when you see these prices move at the level at which they are, one wonders if we're doing it out of FOMO, or is there more to the investment story that we are missing out that a lot of consumers are seeing over here?
See, consumers are looking at jewelry primarily for adornment, which is a universal truth. Worldwide, bars and coins have been investment and jewelry has been adornment. In India, it's a hybrid concept where your investment. So you used to buy jewelry, which is worn, and also investment.
Yes.
So typically jewelers used to sell 80% jewelry, 20% used to be bars and coins. Today that ratio has become 60-40. So you are selling 60% jewelry, 40% is bars and coins, which I think is increase from people's appetite to invest in gold at a high level. So that ratio has changed? So that ratio has changed. So you're seeing 40% people today buying gold as investment. So that means they're buying bars and coins.
Right.
And the balance 60% are buying jewelry. But with the higher prices now, we are seeing that the jewelers are still happy because they are seeing value growth. Another factor which is favoring the entire jewelry sector is the move from unorganized to organized.
That's a big one.
And that's really 10 lakh jewelers pan-India. And if you look at it, maybe in the early 2000s, it would have been like 10% organized.
Yes.
Today, we're talking of 45% being organized. And that is moving at a very fast pace. So by 2030, they're saying almost 70% of India will be organized in the jewelry sector.
And still, there is a cultural rooting, how Indian consumers buy their jewelry, right? I mean, going to your local jeweler, going to the unorganized sector is something that we've done so consistently over the years. It's difficult to break away from the habit. And yet there are specific reasons why you would go to the unorganized sector. It's also for value. It's also to be able to get that family connect, for example. So how much of what is happening in stores like yours, is it about melting old jewelry, refurbishing it? Because I'm hearing that a lot of that is happening too.
Absolutely.
So that approach, how is it changing with consumers at your level in shops? I want to understand that.
Absolutely. So now this family jeweler, so when you look at a family jeweler, what does he do? He's like a family doctor. He'll be with your family for generations.
Correct.
He'll be advising you, guiding you, helping you in making jewelry, repairing it, polishing it, whatever you need in that entire space. And there are organized players who would be looking at doing jewelry which is more or less off the shelf and who have a relationship of maybe one generation.
Right.
Fortunately, when we say at PNG, we say we are one of India's only organized family jeweler because we are spanning for almost 200 years now.
Right.
Generations of people with us as families who are in the business of buying from us.
Right.
So from that perspective, we say we are in the right space. Old gold today is the most sought after exchange program which people are using. So
you're seeing a lot more of that.
So it used to always be like 20-25% jewelry used to be made from recycled gold.
Okay.
And balance used to be fresh gold.
Right.
With prices going up now, it's come to almost 50-55% jewelry is now exchanged. So it's old gold, your grandmother's gold, your grandfather's some chain, or something in family which is now being redone as per modern designs for the occasion which you have today.
So are they refurbishing because prices are shooting up so much? So buying fresh is perhaps not on the agenda. Or is it because you need modern designs? Because the millennials, the younger people, they want something that is fresher and don't want to wear their grandmother's jewelry, for example?
It's both. I think prices have an impact.
Okay.
So your budgets will have a limitation. So you may increase the budget by 10%. But if prices have gone up by 30%, 40%, where does the balance come from? So the balance comes from the old gold.
Right.
So they say India has around 25,000 tons of gold, which the Indian households have.
Right.
So that's going to be a supply which is going to cater for jewelers like us to recycle and make it into new jewelry.
So thank God for that, because otherwise when prices are moving up so much, one of the reasons why prices are moving up so much is because there is this supply crunch, and it's real, it's happening globally, especially right now with silver, to the extent that ETFs have had to close their funds because they don't have the physical silver to support their funds. So this is also unprecedented in a certain number of years, at least. I mean, we've seen it in the past, but it's, I mean, to this extent.
It is.
So when you have that kind of supply crunch, how do you manage your inventory? Jewelers like you, managing inventory might just throw things out of whack, right?
See, it's like any other financial institution. You have to be able to hedge your risk perfectly. So as a company, you need to first be hedging your risk. So by that I mean, if you have committed to supply to a customer, you need to have a back end covered for that. So what at company level we're doing is we are only taking bookings which we know will be backed by a supply side on the back end. If there's shortage of supply, we have stopped booking. For the last 2 days, we're not doing any silver bookings. And it's across. The ETFs have stopped taking new enrollments. Jewelers have stopped taking bookings in silver.
Right.
Because there's no silver in the market. So
are they holding on to inventory? Because, I mean, you want to make certain inventory gains as well. Is that how jewelers, how these distributors actually thinking of working on silver and ensuring that you ride the wave, as it were? But it does come at the cost of consumers and what they're seeking.
I don't think people are holding inventory because silver rally is it just started is what the market is saying. So there's a huge upside left for the rally is what the common consensus is.
Oh, you think this is going to move up even more? Because I'm hearing from the market and certain people, and we were discussing this at length, they're saying that post-Diwali there might be a certain dip Do you see that happening, or do you think this rally is meant for a longer term?
Dip in terms of the premium charge. Today in silver, there's a premium of almost 10 to 12% in the market.
Right.
So that premium may come down post-Diwali.
Right.
But I think prices, nobody's talking of a correction. Prices seem to be only going north. Is what
both for gold and silver?
Because they both are playing very different roles. Gold, like I said, is investment at the retail level. Silver is consumption at the country level.
Yes.
But both are being, and both can't be printed. See, the issue with the whole world is we have printed so much currency that you can't print gold and silver. So there's a limitation on the supply side. And when demand goes up, this is what's bound to happen.
So gold and silver are becoming your new currency?
So
They're
like,
going to replace?
So like JP Morgan had said, gold is the only real currency.
Right.
Everything else is credit. And that is what is coming to now.
And that bodes well for your business, doesn't it?
See, we are happy.
Yes.
But I'm only telling people that look at gold and silver as a long-term asset. Look at gold and silver as an asset which you want to invest in from your savings. Because this is an asset which is always appreciating over a period of time, but it's not an asset to speculate. It's an asset to hold.
So not as adornment, not as the items that we are seeing in this shop, but think of it as coins and bars and ETFs. Is that what you were suggesting?
Even jewelry is investment. See, if you look at, you'll pay 15% making charges on a piece of jewelry. If gold goes up by 50%, you have already made 35% on the jewelry itself.
But what about
Plus
the
you're wearing
huge making charges?
That's what the making charge is 15%.
Correct, but...
So then if you've made 35% price hike, even if you minus 15%, you still make 20% net on the jewelry.
Right.
Plus you're going to wear it every day for occasion. So where your investment?
Yes, where your investment is one way to look at it. But tell me, in terms of how you're changing the product design as well, in terms of your offerings, because there was a lot of speculation that when prices go up so much, is the grammage going to reduce? Is everything going to be seen differently? Because now people are going to see this price movement and then decide that, no, I have to buy something auspicious is part of this festive season, but I'm going to look at it differently. So then, are your offerings also changing to keep in mind everything that consumers are looking for?
Like this, prices are something which are unprecedented. First times, same as with designs here. India is not looking at 18-carat jewelry, not in diamonds but in gold. 14-carat jewelry, 9-carat jewelry, jewelry of lighter weight, jewelry which is going to be looking heavy but hollow from inside. So a lot of things are being done.
Right.
I think there's a price point for everybody, and I think you're also seeing heavy jewelry being sold at these prices also. So India is a huge country. I think there's a lot of different levels of consumption happening. So right now is a time when we're testing everything here.
Right.
There is lightweight, there is heavyweight, there is different caratage. There's also some jewelers which are doing jewelry in 24 carat. So there's the wearer investment is now also going to 24 carat. So it's actually 24 carat pure gold jewelry.
Right.
Even that is being tried. So I think the next 2 years is going to be a lot of trial errors in the entire space.
Right.
To see how the consumers are accepting it.
So I know that you've started a new brand which is called Lifestyle.
Yeah.
Which is something that perhaps was in response to the price rise that we are seeing in precious metals.
It was done a year ago when I was always thinking that gold
is going to go up.
Gold is going to go up, and today's consumers are also looking at jewelry which is not occasion. So we say traditional jewelry is occasion-based jewelry.
Okay.
It's wedding, festivities, Diwali. Lifestyle, the idea was it's a no occasion jewelry. You make your own occasion because you feel like you're buying it. It's your occasion, you create it. So the idea behind this was to target the audience, which as a family jeweler, we have the grandmother and the mother who's a customer.
Right.
How do you get a daughter in the PNG family? So Lifestyle was the answer for that.
So were you losing that generation to other younger players? The competitive landscape has changed a lot. In recent times, I'm seeing that the competitive landscape, like the Blue Stones of the world, etc., the smaller players, the Carrot Clays, etc., have changed the nature of the business, as it were. So did you feel like you needed to reinvent yourself or create a brand that is going to be separate from a PNG to take on this new customer base?
So I think it's not, I don't know if we're losing or not. It was more of a forward-looking thing, a step that, if we wouldn't have done this, maybe we would have lost a lot of prospective customers, is the way I look at it. So we said, let's take this proactive step of creating a brand which is talking to them, which is appealing to their kind of design sense,
right,
and which is the service and the display is what relates to them.
Right.
Because today's Gen Z, or you call it millennials, they are very sure on what kind of experience they want. So price becomes secondary for them. Experience becomes monumental importance for them.
Right. But then, if you're going to grow the business, is it going to be value growth or is it going to be volume growth? Because I'm seeing the number of shops that you're opening, and even after the listing, etc., the IPO, things have changed. You've added a number of stores. It's not just Maharashtra and Goa. You're going into the cowbell deeper. You're going into Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. Tell me, what's the plan? Because at one level, you can see a PNG as an entire brand that caters to families, or you could be looking at a slightly more niche approach as well, which is not something that I see you doing with this kind of volume-led. The number of shops are growing, so there is a different approach, and I don't know what really works in India, but perhaps you can tell me.
See, India is a huge country, and I believe every state by itself is like a country. Different cultures, languages, consumption patterns, design patterns. So what we looked at as a strength was, like I mentioned before, being one of India's only organized family jeweler. We felt, let's take this as the step and grow ahead. So every state and every city has their own family jewelers, but they also aspire to be wanting to buy from an organized player.
Right.
So this is the gap which we want to fill in. That at one side we are family, other side we are corporate, and use that as the punchline when you go into different states. By that I mean our way of functioning is like a family jeweler.
Okay.
When you look at the warmth that people have, we do everything that a family jeweler does. So be it repairing, be it polishing, made to order, jewelry valuations, we do everything, but in organized way. So for example, you come and you want to sell old gold.
Right.
I will buy it from you, but a family jeweler will give you cash. I'll do a bank transfer for you
Right.
the very next day. So we do a lot of those things. We solve a lot of problems or issues which a family jeweler solves for a customer, but in organized way.
Right.
And in organized way, I mean we'll have more stocking, we'll have better displays, we'll have collections, we'll have what is expected from an organized player. We'll have all that, but in a family atmosphere. So our people here are with us for long years. We believe in treating them as a part of the PNG family. Because I end of it believe that jewelry is not a product; it's a relationship.
Right.
In India, when you look at your family, when they have a relationship with a jeweler,
correct,
they buy from him or her because it is a relationship. So that is what we believe is the most important aspect in the entire industry.
Yes.
And even as you get more and more organized, if you can work on the relationships and make it organized, but again family, that's the answer to, winning hearts of people.
Talking about families, what is very dear to Indians, besides the festive season and auspicious buying that takes place, and of course this season starts with a Navratri, ends with a Diwali, and then there is a small period where you can rest a little bit and take a little break, but then you come back with ferocity for the wedding season. How different is that now? And how much preparation goes into switching from the festive season kind of sales to a wedding season kind of sales?
See, it's become a little overlapping because now wedding shopping is not just a shopping at one particular month or one particular time. Wedding, if you look at today weddings, I mean, you either match your trousseau with the jewelry or vice versa.
Correct.
So that entire activity spreads now almost for a year or 6-8 months. So wedding shopping, now we've seen happens twice a year. One time during your Gudi Padwa, Akshaya Tritiya season.
That's true.
One time during a Diwali season.
Yes.
So we look at this entire season as a festivity/wedding.
Right.
So the wedding collection will also be there right now. Will also continue ahead. But on an overall picture, if you look at it from a family jeweler perspective on an organized level,
yes,
60% sales are your wedding sales.
But tell me now, a lot is changing because technology has such a big role to play in sales across sectors. When you talk about jewelry and the kind of sales that is happening right now, how much are you betting on digital sales to kind of drive growth for your company?
Digital sales are very, very powerful in terms of reaching areas which you couldn't service physically. We have seen huge growth in digital sales, almost 100% plus year over year. But digital sales in India are still linked to small ticket items. If you look at even the carat lanes and the bluestones, it's all about lightweight jewelry.
Right.
It's either self-gifting, gifting to someone, some near dear one.
Yes.
It's not wedding shopping. So wedding shopping is really more omni-channel. So you browse online but buy offline.
Correct.
So that is what we are seeing, that your online serves as a catalog. You browse online, you kind of shortlist pieces. I want one piece from this store, I want other piece from that store. You call for it at one particular store, come and see those pieces and then make a choice. So omni-channel is working for wedding purchases, but digital, yes, and especially bars and coins right now, it's online, there's no end to it.
Correct. That's the easy one to buy, right? So how are you kind of hopping on to that kind of demand that is rising?
So we are there on all the marketplaces, on our own website, so
Right.
PNGJewellers.com, all our websites. We are also on quick commerce. So for example, for Dhanteras, you can have the Zeptos, the Blinkits, which can give you gold bars in 10 minutes. We did Rakhis on quick commerce recently.
Right, silver Rakhis.
So we sold 15,000 Rakhis on the platforms.
Right.
So those things have worked. So we are there where there is technology, but these are all small ticket items. Again, I'm trying to tell you that this is a customer acquisition and getting a brand reaching areas where you wouldn't physically be able to reach.
Yes.
But the cream, the wedding shopping is still physical.
And you like it that way, right? I mean, that kind of interaction is
the experience.
Far easier. So luxury buying has always been about experience, but this is not really luxury in that sense. But going to the store is an experience in itself. And
It's an emotion.
It's an emotion.
It's an emotion. Wedding, your first anniversary, they're all emotions. So you want to have a physical touch and feel in that. That can't be experienced online.
So emotion and sentiment, when you talk about consumption right now, with GST 2.0 reforms, one expected that to rise to a large extent. But of course, as far as the jewelry sector is concerned, didn't make that direct a difference, right? Because those rates remain the same as far as making charges and the GST on that, or gold and silver jewelry, all of that remain the same. Coins and bars as well, all remain the same. But now, with the reforms coming in, what's the change that you're seeing, and what would you like to see as well? By way of change, because obviously the consumers are looking at it sentimentally, at least, differently.
So the industry, we always ask for lower GSTs. So even 3%, we are asking for 1%. Because the value of gold is going up.
You see that happening?
See, we are talking to government of, looking at the value of gold.
Yes.
When GST was 3%, gold was, say, at 50,000. Gold today is 1,25,000. So somewhere we feel that GST, there's scope for cutting down GST. That's always a demand from the industry. What we've benefited right now is the GST cut across different categories.
Okay.
That has led to people saving some money, leading to consumption. And that consumption benefit we can see happening in our industry right now. So that's what is the positive from the GST cut. But for us, like you said, there's been no change, but we are hoping that there can be a positive change for us in terms of some surprise package where we see a GST cut for the gem and jewelry industry.
Saurabh, you've been a national level chess player. Tell me, because I'm sure you think of 30 moves ahead, what is likely to happen? You told me about the prices and what you were expecting as well. Now when you look at what is happening right now in the jewelry sector and in general with the consumption drive that India is banking on, there was a huge push towards supply side and the kind of reforms that were put through by the government, and now there is a push towards the consumption side. What do you see coming? How do you think the jewelry sector is going to absorb the kind of changes that are happening at the national level, at the central level, with the kind of reforms that the government is working on?
So I think 2-3 things are going to be happening in the jewelry sector which are imminent. One is the move to organized. Today, India is around 40-45% organized in the jewelry sector, which I think has to reach 70% in the next 5-6 years. That's something which is happening at a very fast pace, and it's bound to happen.
Right.
You will see number of jewelers shrinking. The industry today is more than 10 lakh plus, and I think that number is going to somewhere get rationalized, because as you get more and more organized, you will see M&As happening, you will see people shutting shops who are smaller ones, and you will see the industry level rising. What we're hoping for is that this will lead to a level playing field where the industry doesn't have to compete on prices. So we'll compete on the shopping experience on the design front. This discount-led, even after COVID, we have seen that the industry focus has moved from discounts to really more of designs, more of shopping experience. That's something which I feel is going to be happening here. And lastly, I think the whole fascination towards gem and jewelry in India is going to keep on growing ahead. I think geopolitical uncertainties, wars, tariff wars, and the way inflation worries, de-dollarization, all these things are supporting gold.
The growth of gold.
And I think there doesn't seem to be a near-term solution for these things to stabilize.
Right.
So the role of gold as a stable investment, as a de facto currency,
Yes, as a store of value.
is again getting more and more highlighted.
Sure.
So I think the next 5 years for industry look very, very good. We are positive that the industry will grow by leaps and bounds.
Yes.
Another thing we're seeing also a lot of players moving to capital markets. That's again something which the industry had not seen. So I think overall this sense of getting organized, sense of getting more accessible to
Yes.
markets, being more transparent is going to happen.
So as an asset class, you see gold definitely growing, but many people are saying it's not even an asset class. It's just, you know.
It's always good to argue. It's always good to debate. So I think each one has its own choice.
But tell me, in passing, marketing-wise, because we see you having associated with Madhuri Dixit in a huge way over the last decade or so, even longer than that. You've had an association with Salman Khan, which was temporary for a couple of films. Now tell me, what's the approach in terms of being able to push the brand and position itself among the many players in the jewelry sector? How are you going about it?
So a lot of things, there are different channels we need to use. So there is the most important channel, I think, is word to mouth. A consumer will really walk into a store if there's a strong word to mouth reference. That's something which we do. There's marketing, celebrity endorsements, both social media, everything works together. But I think if you have the product right, if you have the service right, the answer is solved. I always feel that names can get people to walk to your store.
Right.
But to convert them to a customer, you need to have that shop experience. You need to have that product. You need to have that service. So I think that is what is the crucial part. That if you have the ingredients right, then the food will taste good.
Right.
Restaurant, whatever it is, doesn't matter. As
So
long
the
as food,
core has to be just right.
Absolutely.
You can't change that. You need to have your core and family traditions, and the way we've gone about buying jewelry in the past perhaps still dominates, but of course it has gone through robust changes as well. But we hope this Diwali brings that sparkle. It continues to grow. The cheer kind of continues. And indeed, what we are hoping for and really counting on is the kind of reforms that the government has set itself on. Perhaps that's going to help the sector and growth story sparkle even further when it comes to the Indian economy, because consumption is the real push. I want to thank Saurabh for joining us on this special program, this festive season, this Dhanteras, this Diwali. We hope the sparkle is there, our hearts are full, and you have a spectacular Diwali. All the best.
thank you. Wishing everybody a very, very happy, safe, and prosperous Diwali.